Well, I had to consult my little partner here, the cat, and a lot of people were saying, yesterday that gold looked like it was going down, and it's going, I don't know, silver's going below 20 and 18 and all that, right? I was thinking, it might have been a fake out, but I don't know what was going to happen today, but today things are looking up for the metals again, and part of that reason is because this time when they're talking about government closure, it's coming about at the same time as the debt ceiling. That's unique. That's something brand new. So the debt ceiling, in other words, on October 17th, the government's not going to be able to borrow any more money if they don't resolve what's going on. And it don't look like they're going to resolve it right away either. And then about 10 days thereafter, from October 17th, they're actually going to run out of cash. Now, I don't think it's going to get to that point exactly, but I don't know. But it's making interest rates go up. It's pretty damn obvious, right? And this is the scenario everybody's been talking about. It's not the scenario I want. I'd rather have the government freaking run like it's supposed to be. And then you don't have to worry about this gold and silver stuff, and the American dollar would have strength based upon some type of true backing of something, even if it's not gold, whether it's oil or hemp or I don't know, whatever, or basically a basket of commodities. That might be a lot better, but hey, it's just paper. That's the problem, right? And this does not actually, even if the dollar itself falls a lot, it does not make the United States weak per se. It doesn't. Because, what actually makes the United States weak is the word, I'll use the one word, fear. Fear. It's like when people become like, a doe, the animal, the deer, the doe with the head, their eyes staring at the headlights, and they don't move and go to the next step or take action as appropriate. That's when you got a problem in the United States. That's when you have a problem anywhere, right? That's where people elect strong leaders, right? And they go, But take action on your own. And one of the actions we've been saying all along was the silver and the gold, right? But it's still not going to just play out immediately. But I've been saying it. I think 2014 is going to be the big time where we're seeing one big peak and then maybe a big pullback in 2015, and then off to the races again. And maybe late 2017 is probably where we'll see the final height. I don't know. But, there's a number of things going on now with this. This is the first time that they're shutting down, they're talking about, well, they have shut down the government, but with the debt ceiling looming too at the same time. That hasn't happened. That hasn't happened. Not with the two events at the same time. So interest rates are spiking. Now, what's going on in Syria, it looks like there's more tensions because, well, the UN team has arrived. And, I'm not no fan of the UN. The United Nations is based upon the old Soviet Union Constitution, basically, even the symbology. I'm all aware of this garbage. I'm all aware that Rockefeller funded it when it was in danger of falling apart. The idea was falling apart. It's funded by the globalist New World Order elite and all that garbage. Hey, I'm pro-USA, which is called the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. I'm not pro-USA getting behind some fascist dictator in the United States or some oligarch or anybody else like that. I'm not for that garbage. It's quite obvious, right? That's why I don't support either Rockefeller, Rothschilds, or Putin, right? All of them. They're just a different type of animal, but they're all the same type of breed, more or less. And garbage, right? So, but it does look like, I don't know exactly how this crisis is going to play out, but it may be that oil is going to start flying up even faster than silver and gold. Yesterday it was taking a major hit. And like I said, I'd be playing in and out of this garbage, but it's like I don't like that wash sale disallowed crap. So, if it gets up to about $130 a barrel or something, I'll just dump it or whatever, That's what I'll do. It's probably going to get up that high or maybe even higher. That long-term LW prediction where he got his information from, it's probably legit. It's going to take some time, but it's going to get there. It's going to get there. And actually, now that I actually have in the area, not super far away, a place you can fill up your car with compressed natural gas, I'm not going to even care about the oil going up to the moon, because I don't think that'll affect the price of natural gas much, because that's all domestically produced. You know, so if other people are paying $8 a gallon, I'll be paying $2.50 for natural gas. So it's not going to affect me personally. You know, and then I got a motorcycle, but I think that's going to be one of the things that's going to hit first before you really see gold and silver really take off. It's going to be the oil. And UN inspectors are like, they're now getting out. They're going about looking for the chemical weapons and all this. I know it's a bunch of garbage. You know, I know that. And you know, you got to be thankful that Obama basically is a weak leader, because he draws a line in the sand, right? and then they go over the line in the sand, and then he doesn't do nothing, right? I mean, the reason we don't have a war right now with Syria is because Obama's a weak leader. So, you know, what the hell? Who gives a shit? You know what I mean? If he's a weak leader, right? It's more important that we have our Bill of Rights and our way of government than have a strong leader. Because if we had a strong leader, we probably would have attacked Syria, you know? Something that most Americans people don't want, right? You can think of it that way. But it's going to actually start causing the price of oil to go up, because there's a lot of tensions actually going on in Syria, and there's been a lot of fighting even today. Been fighting between the government troops and I know, the Rothschilds backs, the rebels, or whatever the hell you want to call it. But you know, there's so much garbage going on over there. It's actually, you know, to tell you the truth, you know, a lot of people get all pissed off about, you know, the West having its policies and all this kind of stuff in the Middle East and what Israel's doing. But you know, the only thing that actually held Iraq together, even with Iraq, was Saddam Hussein, because he was such a strong leader. It's like, I don't know, there's something wrong with some of these places, man, because people will fight each other rather than work together. And actually, in the United States, believe it or not, despite having very diversified cultures and things like that, and people come from different areas, people in the United States are far, far, far more tolerant of each other than it is in the other countries. People in the United States don't quite realize that, though. That's a fact, you know. You don't see like one city bombing another city like over in Afghanistan with tribal warfare going on, you know. Armed camps with citadels and stuff like that. It's not how it is over here. People actually cooperate with each other a hell of a lot better, even though it's not perfect, than in the rest of the world. That's a fact, man. But anyway, it looks like the government is on its way to on its way to a default, maybe. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it's going to get to that point, but October 17th is the deadline where the government can't borrow any more money, and it's going to be maybe about 10 days thereafter, where the government runs out of cash. It'll run out of cash before October 31st. So, that's never happened. That never happened. I don't know if it's going to come to that head, but these are the type of things that actually happened in August of 2011. And you know, I can't see the rating agencies staying totally silent, even though we never heard nothing from them recently. They're going to come out and make some kind of statements. Even if this gets all fixed up later on and a crisis gets avoided at the last minute, rating agencies are going to make some statements or do something after the fact, after this all blows over. They're not going to do it right in the middle of it, because they're adding fuel to the fire, see? But the rating agencies are going to say something about this and maybe downgrade the debt, maybe, later on after this gets ironed out. They're not going to do it right now because, like I said, that would be adding fuel to the fire. That's something else nobody doesn't talk about, but that's plain common sense. You know what's going to happen. So say, for instance, you know, the debt ceiling gets avoided. You know, they raise the debt ceiling at the last minute on October 17th or whatever, or maybe the day after, 2 days after, or whatever, while they're running out of cash. Maybe that'll happen that way. And then the problems look like they subside, and then gold and silver, say, pulls back a little bit from rising up. Then you'll see later that the debt, the Moody's and S&P and Finch, whatever, they all talk about the ability of the United States to sustain its course, and the debt ratings get changed. Then you see gold go back up again. And I don't know what's going to happen in the Middle East, because they got a deadline to dismantle the chemical weapons by the mid 2014, which is like a really super fast deadline. And you know, if they don't meet that deadline, who the hell knows what's going to happen? See? That's the other thing that I think is going to be the real catalyst for gold and silver. So keep that in mind. You know, the naysayers, I don't know, they can do whatever they want. I'm not worried about it, you know. I'm not worried about it. If they're going to hold their breath for $15 silver, $10 silver, $8 silver, keep holding your breath till you're blue in the face. But I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. So just looks like events are actually moving in a positive way for the metals. But that's not a positive way for the United States overall. So if you got metals and you get some really good wealth from that, you're going to wind up putting it back in the economy anyway and not spend it frivolously and on things that can actually benefit a lot more people because, you know, if you're making a trade for metals on something else, you're going to make a trade for a capital asset that produces something, right? So it's a way to actually preserve the American economy by investing in metals, so keep that in mind too. It's not something that it's a total individual thing. So it's also a way to actually keep the American economy back on track, because the fiat dollar is going to be greatly devalued long term, and the long term is not that far away now.